So Dylan the Body Snatcher White goes on to accuse Anthony Joshua of taking steroids. He said that the fact that Anthony Joshua is on steroids contributed to Jarrell Big Baby Miller taking steroids. He said, Jarrell said, well, I'm fighting a guy who's juiced up, so I'm going to take juice. Dillian Whyte also goes on to talk about Anthony Joshua's therapeutic exemptions. Now that part, I haven't really looked into Anthony Joshua's therapeutic exemptions of PEDs or testosterone or steroids. So I don't know much about that, but I will look into it. I will look into it. But I would say to Dillian Whyte, at the end of the day, Dillian Whyte's no better with statements like that. He knows every man at the end of the day is responsible for himself, that you can't put another man's actions off on another man. Real men don't do that in the first place anyway. And he took those drugs because he was scared. To add on top of that, this ain't the only reason why Big Baby Miller has to be suspect of taking PEDs. If the man was kicked off the WBC rankings for not signing up for drug testing in the first place, which was the list I showed you guys earlier in a few videos ago, that Big Baby Miller was on the list of fighters who was not drug testing. So the WBC dropped him from the rankings and they exposed him to the public. Big Baby Miller was on that list, so that is no coincidence. But to sit up here and try to blame Anthony Joshua for another person cheating, I mean, come on. Okay, in that case, what was Luis Ortiz's excuse? Was that Povetkin's excuse? All that, I just think that's a real shitty-ass excuse. And I would think that even though Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua have a rivalry like that, I would think to a certain degree he would show his countrymen some kind of underlying respect, maybe a line not to cross. But then again, like I said, all these fighters are on performance enhancing drugs. I don't put it past any fighter. There's no fighter, I think. It's just like Max Kellerman said. You're in a sport where predominantly everybody is juicing. So the pressure for you to take steroids is almost triple, because you have to do it just to compete on a mediocre or on a basic level, because you're competing with a 80 percentile group that's taking steroids. I mean, easy. So it's not hard to figure out. So, and money's on the line, and injuries and all that other stuff. You know how it is. I mean, just look. Wilder brother just started off his career. You know what I'm saying? And he was already up on the juice gang. So I mean, it ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Even one of my favorite, he's not one of my favorite fighters. He's one of my favorite fighters, as in people, as in person, as in man. And that's Andre Ward. And even Andre Ward, to me, was suspect for taking steroids in the Kovalov fight, because Andre had all that acne on his back, and you don't get acne like that on your back at his age. And plus, he's not an acne-ridden kind of individual. You would usually see signs of it if people got skin conditions. So, and that's SOG. You know what I'm saying? That's Son of God. That's Ward. You know what I'm saying? And I like Ward, but I can't deny what I see. So, is Anthony Joshua on steroids? More than likely, yeah. I mean, yeah. The only thing that I will defend Anthony Joshua in taking steroids is this. I don't like that people say Anthony Joshua took steroids and that's why physically he looks the way he do. That is not true. That is not true whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about bodybuilding and lifting weights, if you anything in the athletic field or some stuff like that, you could easily tell that what Anthony Joshua has, his physique, his muscle mass, that is his genetic tree. That is predominantly genetic tree. You can juice till you fucking green in the face. There's no guarantee that you're going to look like Anthony Joshua unless you had a genetic foundation to do so. So when it comes to Anthony Joshua's size and how he looks and stuff like that, that's really his fucking genetics. But other than that, as far as anything else people are doing, like I said, man, all these guys is on steroids, and at the end of the day, they just need to come out and just make the shit legal so they can stop playing this fucking game like they actually fucking care. Because to a larger degree, I don't even think we care. You know, some dudes, some don't. But I'm like I said, it's so hard to shake the sport of it. We might as well just jump in front of it. But, you know, that's my opinion on it. I'm going to leave the article in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Bruce Vader, I'm out.